EasyMorph Hub is a multi-purpose data automation and collaboration platform. Hub is accessed through a web browser. Your EasyMorph administrator or IT team should be able to provide the necessary link. Hub supports signing in using a username and password or via external authentication providers such as Active Directory or Microsoft Entra. Again, your administrator will be able to provide the necessary credentials. Once logged in, you will be greeted with the home screen, which includes links to recently used features. On the left-hand side is the navigation bar. If you are a Hub administrator, you can access the Hub administration section at the bottom of the navigation bar. EasyMorph Hub can be divided into multiple spaces, each providing an individual workspace for a team of users. We can think of EasyMorph Hub as an office building, with each space an individual room in the office. Each room can have different equipment, and in the same way, each space can be configured with different features that each team needs. Each space has its own security permissions, meaning that we can control which spaces each user is able to access. The current space is shown towards the top left of the navigation bar. The features shown immediately below depend upon the space's configuration, so may be different to those shown here. If you have access to more than one space, you can switch between them using the menu icon next to the space's name. Let's switch over to EasyMorph Desktop, a separate application which is used to create the workflows which power many of the features of EasyMorph Hub. To be able to publish workflows from EasyMorph Desktop to the Hub, we must first link them. We do this by clicking on Link to Hub at the top right of the Home tab. In the dialog that appears, we must enter the connection details for our EasyMorph Hub. Your EasyMorph administrator will be able to provide you with the necessary connection information. This will include any usernames and passwords you may need. You can also pick which spaces you wish to connect to. Once connected, we can open an existing workflow from the Hub in order to edit it. We can select the EasyMorph project or .morph file which we want to open, and once open, we can make any changes we need. I wish to disable this filter action. Now that I've made the change, I can click on Publish to Hub on the menu in the Project tab to publish my changes back to the Hub. I can publish new workflows in just the same way. Let's switch back to EasyMorph Hub. Tasks allow us to run EasyMorph workflows either on demand or automatically. When we publish our workflow to the Hub, a task was not automatically set up, so we need to create one. Let's click on Create Task, and let's select our EasyMorph workflow which we just published to the Hub. And if the workflow has parameters, we can configure them also. Let's reduce our minimum workers parameter to 25. We can now save our task and return back to the tasks list where we can see our newly created task, and if we click on the green play button, we can run it manually. The task status shows us that the task is running, and when it returns to idle, we know it has finished. Tasks can also be configured to run automatically by adding one or more triggers. The schedule trigger allows us to specify a schedule for the task to be run. We must first enable the trigger so that it is active, and then we can set the schedule. I want my workflow to run every weekday at 1 AM. With our schedule set, we can save our trigger and return back to the tasks list. EasyMorph Hub supports many other triggers which can run our task when a specific event occurs, such as when a new file is uploaded to a specific location or an email is received. The File Manager allows users to browse, upload, download, and manage files stored on the EasyMorph Hub. Let's upload some new files to our data folder so that our workflow can process them. We can do this by simply dragging and dropping them into the browser. File Manager also supports connecting to cloud and remote file services such as OneDrive, Google Drive, Dropbox, and many more. This means users can access the files they need from one central location wherever they may be stored. We can upload and download files to these remote locations in just the same way. Let's download this purchase order. As you use EasyMorph, you can quickly end up with lots of tasks and files, making it difficult to find the specific ones you need. Another feature of EasyMorph Hub, called Boards, can help us to combine subsets of tasks and files into a single view, such as in this example where I've created a board for my finance team to manage overdue invoices. Let's download this invoice and run this task. Bringing together subsets of tasks and files in this way means users no longer need to switch back and forth between tasks and the file manager. Boards can do a lot more than just providing us easy access to files and tasks. Boards allow us to create custom home pages for any business process, team, project, or just about any other use case. Just a handful of examples include a board for our sales team to ensure everyone is on the same page, no customer query falls through the cracks. A board for our finance team to manage month-end process, tracking reconciliation, syncing the CRM and finance systems, and releasing the data to the rest of the business once finished. Or a board to allow our data and IT team to monitor all data processing and ETL pipelines, alerting when something fails or an important system goes down. Boards are made up of sections, and we can add different sections, each of which provides additional features to our board. This board includes a text section, a tasks section, and a file manager section. Metric and state sections allow us to add important key performance indicators or statuses. Shortcut sections let us add links to any useful web addresses, such as here where I've added a link to our finance system. They can also be used to trigger workflows to run. We can also add data tables to our board using the Tables section. We can even add simple charts to our board using the Charts section. If we click on Edit Board and then Add Section, we can choose from the available sections to build the board we need. As we create more boards, we may find that we want to create items such as metrics or datasets which appear on more than one board. We can navigate to the catalogue from the left-hand menu. The catalogue allows us to create a library of metrics, states, datasets, shortcuts, and more. We call each item in the catalogue an asset. Once created, these assets can then be used as the building blocks for board sections. There are different types of assets which can be added to the catalogue. When we view the catalogue, we can see the assets already available. Assets can be organised into collections to make them easier to find. And we can also search the catalogue when needed. Clicking on Create Asset allows us to create new assets within the catalogue. Dataset assets allow users to find and access the data they need. Let's open this list of overdue invoices. Opening any dataset from the catalogue or a board shows us the analysis view, containing the tabular data, as well as filters and even simple charts. Datasets can also be linked together with commands, which are shown in blue like a link on a web page, such as here where I can click on a customer name and open all invoices for that customer. This dataset has its own analysis view. Let's filter the dataset to just some invoice dates, selecting them and applying the filter. We can then download the data as an Excel spreadsheet ready to use offline. Datasets can be both pre-computed, meaning they are immediately available, or computed on the fly by running an EasyMorph workflow. There are many other types of assets that can also be added to the catalogue. Once an asset is created in the catalogue, it can be added to a board using the relevant board section. Boards also support adding special issues sections. Issues are a simple ticketing or to-do system. Let's create a new issue and give it a title. Once created, we can define different information about the issue, such as the type of issue, the status, a due date, and who it's assigned to. Issues can also have a longer description and we can attach files or data to an issue as well. Let's update the status of this issue as we begin working on it. As well as creating issues manually, they can also be created automatically by EasyMorph workflows using the issue actions. This means issues can be raised automatically, such as when a data quality problem is identified, alerting us that someone needs to take action to resolve the issue. You can find more information about EasyMorph Hub at easymorph.com.